Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are on the main account currently, and I want to show you something amazing. Like, for those of you that have been following me for a while, or at least for the last week, you've seen that I managed to win my Champion Chase group this past weekend. And by doing that, I have got myself the new Supreme Galek, you know, one of the starters that they decided to make into Void Legendaries. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, like not that good. Like, you know, Supreme Aethel and Elhain are like so, maybe good for progression to get some damage in there. But then we have Supreme Galek and Supreme Kale that are actually pretty insane. I do not have Supreme Kale, so I cannot test him, but because I got myself Supreme Galek, I wanted to try him in Hydra, because you know what? It's all about this A3. This A3 screamed Hydra to me the first second that I saw him implemented, and I was like, you know what? If I do manage to get him, I will test him out in a Hydra team to see what he can do. And I'm not gonna lie, I got more than I expected. I expected maybe this to be not as good or not as bad, but actually what I did do is I kind of threw him in one of my teams that I previously had in Hydra. That was like, you know, a full auto team that used Mighty Uko, Lydia, Bivold, Kale, Royal Guard, and Inquisitor Shamel. If you've seen that, you know, that's one of my, you know, my pride and joys as a video where I showed a full auto Nightmare Hydra team that kind of works on every single rotation. That, you know, doesn't use the top tier legendary in general, such as like, you know, there's no Crisias, no Siphies, no Duchesses, to Hanoraks, Kresks, not even a Nekmothar. So, you know, that was a pretty fun team that I did before. I'm gonna have that one pinned in case you want to see it. I'm either gonna pin it there or over there at the end of this video. But the team that I went with is like, you know, I guess I can kind of call it free-to-play friendly, because it kind of uses champions that were past fusions in the previous tier, obviously if you did the fusions, and there's like, you know, just one epic in there, and everybody else are legendaries that you can obtain, and obviously Supreme Galek. But enough talking, let me just show you the team. So yeah, it's this team over here. So it's Supreme Galek, Mighty Uko, Mithrala, Bible of the Thorn, Lydia, and Inquisitor Shamel. Well, this team was, you know, it did something surprising. I'm going to show you the presets first, then I'm going to play the run. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's like 20-25 minutes. But I'm going to play like, you know, a few minutes of it, cut through it after the beginning, show you towards the end, and, you know, show you how well it can actually do. So the first thing is like, you know, when you go to presets, I have Supreme Galek at doing his A3 as priority, because I guess he would always do it, but I just want to make sure he starts with this one. The reason why this one's so insane is because it does HP burn, it does block buffs, and it also brings a decreased speed. You know, this one's a bit conditional. The targets have to be over 50% turn meter, but most of the time they're gonna be over 50% turn meter. If not, you know, if you get enough turns back, he's gonna do this again, and you're kind of gonna be covered with that as well. And the beauty about him being void is the fact that he lands the block buffs and decreased speed. You know, doesn't matter about affinity, he can always hit. Unless he gets 3%, he's always gonna land it. Then the HP burn, this is something I did not exactly get a chance to test, or like, you know, I did not notice exactly during the run, but I'm not sure if this one would land through the poison cloud. However, you have the block buffs, so you should not worry about the poison cloud as much. If this lands through poison cloud as well, then he's next level, like he's over god tier, if that's even possible. But yeah, this is mostly about him. Obviously the A2 is pretty amazing because he explodes the turn meters and he gets his turn meter boosted if he activates more than 3 HP burn. So, you know, you can get 3% on one activation, but not like a more than that. And if he does that, well, think about it. He gets turn meter boosted, he also buffs himself with increased attack, and then he can come back to the A3 faster. I have Mighty Uko prioritizing the A2, Mithrala can do whatever, Bivold I made him prioritize the A2 and A3 because sometimes he does not like to use these skills. Then Lydia, nothing, she's gonna usually do the A2 or A3, and then Inquisitor Shamel again, nothing, he can do whatever. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna play the round, then we're gonna come back and we're gonna have a quick look at the builds. So see you in a bit, guys. And we're back, and look at this damage. Like, I don't know, I did not expect this, honestly. I did not expect this on my, it was actually my first try. So I put this team together, it's pre-recorded, as you can see, I'm having this in the background, but I put this on full auto. It might not even be ideal to have him in the lead, but it still helps because he brings, you know, the attack lead, 33% in all battles. So when you're facing the Head of Torment, having Shamel in there, he keeps getting boosted. And that's the beauty of it, because he keeps coming back to his A3 and A2. Like, okay, maybe the damage that he did is not the craziest, but that's not the thing. The beautiful thing about it is he does insane damage, but he also brings amazing utility with those 3 debuffs that I was talking about. So look, he even did like close to 18 million damage. Then Uko 2.4, Mithrala surprisingly 4.6, even though she doesn't have War Master, so I guess it was the poisons. Bivol 3.4, Lydia 5.4, and Inquisitor Shamel 9.6. So it might be a little bit tricky if he does get eaten, but this team kind of relies on the Hex and on the AoE damages. So, you know, even if he gets eaten, unless you have like really bad RNG, you should still get yourself to that point of, you know, the 1 key. Like I said, it was full auto, I did not touch it at all. Just put the team in there, it went, and that's it. You know, you could do semi-auto where, you know, you go and fight, and if somebody gets eaten, you just click that head to make sure your champions target that one, because the funky thing with Hydra, and I wish they would change this in the, you know, the Hydra's, I guess, UI or mechanics, that when somebody gets, you know, when one of the Hydra heads eats one of your champions, I wish your champions would focus that one instead of decapitated head or heads that are lower HP. But that's, you know, that's just me. Maybe one day it's gonna happen, maybe not, who knows. But yeah, let's have a look at the builds. So the thing is like this, and the reason why I'm also so shocked is because half of these champions are not optimally built for Hydra. They're just champions that I have in other builds for other areas of the game that I have changed recently because of hard dungeons, and it still works. Like as an example, Lydia, she's in a bolster set. This brings me absolutely nothing for Hydra, the bolster set. Yeah, she's there for the debuffs, for her passive, for you know, for a lot of her skills, but again, she's not in, you know, the best that we can do. Like even the masteries, I would 100% reset our masteries and take it down the support tree and take, you know, arcane celerity, rapid response, some other stuff. These are the masteries I had on her from a previous video where I did you know, my personal record for clan boss, which was the, you know, white whale with Lydia. So this can be improved by changing the masteries into, you would have something like this, I suppose, when it comes to the support tree, just maybe this and come down to War Master. But still, Lydia can be improved, they can be even better. If you want to see the exact masteries that I would suggest for these champions for this Hydra team, just go check the video that I said I'm going to have it pinned over here or over there at the end of this one, and you can copy the masteries from there. Then have Inquisitor Shamel, which again, he's not perfectly optimized, he's in a Relentless with some, you know, with some damage. You can definitely tell I broke his build. He's not even crit capped, crit damage is pretty low, he has some resistance, you don't care about resistance accuracy. He's not the fastest, so even this one can be improved. It's not the best. Masteries though, I feel like these are the right ones because I kind of rely on him, as I do not have a block debuffs, to do some of those counterattacks, and they can proc some decent damage with the Giant Slayer. Then Mithrala, again, she's not perfectly optimized for Hydra. I guess one of the good things that I have on her for Hydra is the Brimstone. That's about it. I would not want her in a Regeneration. I would want her in a Guardian, maybe a Reflex, Relentless, something else for Hydra. But still, this is the build that I have on her for my, for my hard dungeons. I don't even have enough accuracy. Like, this is not enough accuracy to land all the debuffs, especially if the Head of Suffering's out there. So even this one can be improved. So you get the gist so far. It's not perfectly tuned, guys, and it's still working amazing. But yeah, the masteries, I guess you could keep these masteries, and these masteries would be good for dungeons, you would be good for arena for her. It's you know, you don't necessarily need War Master on her, especially if you use her in arena and other areas. You'd prefer to go down support and defense like she has over here. Then Mighty Uko, Mighty Uko is kind of like, yes, his masteries are perfectly optimized. These are the ones that I would choose for him for Hydra. This is 100% what I would go for. And I have him in a provoke set to kind of be like my backup provoker, you know, because Bivald might not keep the provoke up all the time. So having a provoke set on somebody that does AoEs is definitely going to be helpful. You can have it on Mighty Uko, Or you can have maybe a provoke set increase the Shamel, but the problem is on auto, he might not target the head of DK. So that's why you want on someone that does AoEs. Maybe you could even try and get a provoke, you know, Bivold. When he does his second AoE, he has another chance. But, you know, maybe it would go on somebody else. Maybe like a Lydia provoke or like a Mithrala Life Pain provoke. That could also work. But yeah, he's, you know, he's decently fast, good accuracy, decent resistance, and then survivable because he's your, you know, he's the reviver in this team. But the thing is, I will change him. I will change him, and I'm gonna have him in a different build for Arena, like in the next few weeks, and that's gonna change it. So I'm gonna need to have, if I'm gonna still run this team, I'm gonna need to have somebody else in a provoke set, or I might change my team, you know, entirely, because I'm not that desperate to get a block buff from him. If, you know, Supreme Galek lands it consistently because the block buffs is not conditional, then, you know, he's gonna be, you know, good enough. I might just straight up replace Mighty Yuko from this team and have somebody else in there, you know. I could have maybe a Duchess, a Seifi, or like, I don't know, if you don't have those crazy champions, you could even use a, what's her name, Ursala. You know, Ursala brings decreased attack, increased attack. So by replacing Mighty Yuko, you lose a decreased attack, but if you bring Ursala, Ursala can do decreased attack and the increased attack, even though we already have it, and she brings the, you know, AoE revive with 3 turns, increased defense and strength. So just to keep that in mind to have as an option. Then we have Bivold of the Thor, which is another one of those, you know, I guess he's one of the ones that's now definitely a top tier. He's a god for Hydra because he brings you provoke even on weak hits, provoke and leech, which, you know, getting that leech in there helps us a ton when it comes to healing back up, because as you see, this team has no type of healing. The way that this team heals is from Bivold's leech that he places, and, you know, every time you do a War Master or any damage, you heal up. Then he brings a heal on his A3, he also brings a heal on his A1. So he's definitely amazing. If you would not have him, you could replace with a Coronar, you could replace with a Soulless in here, but again, if you do that, you might need to bring somebody else for healing, so keep that in mind. And then we have Supreme Galek, which is, you know, the man of the show, and obviously, I guess that's why he's last. I still need to get into level 60, even though I already have masteries, but these are the masteries that I use on him. You know, everything that revolves around debuffs, them expiring and getting more turn meter, lot of steel. It's not the craziest, but I guess it can help. Evil Eye, you know, this could be an argument, but if you're gonna use him for other areas where you know, you want that turn meter drop on his A1, I might even test him for Sorath or for some other Doomtar bosses and see how it works. But if I would do that, I would have to change the build that he is in, because currently I have him in a reflex set. As he's kind of like a Geomancer in here, I want him to come back to his A3 especially as often as possible, because like I said, this one does the AoE HP burn, the block buffs, and the decreased speed. So you kind of want him spamming this one as much as possible. That's why I put it as priority. I mean, there could be an argument of even locking his A2 for Hydra, but I'm not sure I really want to do that. I kind of want to activate those burns so I can get enough damage. And honestly, because this one's on a 3 turn and the A3 is on a 3 turn, that's just insane. Like, with a reflex, he can come back to them like every other turn. He can have this A3 back again. His passive can be pretty interesting if you are in a situation where your Shamel gets eaten or is dead. He can proc this one, but I think he also procs it even with Shamel in the team. So, you know, it's not as crazy, but if you're gonna be using a team without Inquisitor Shamel, then this can come in handy. And yeah, like I said, I have him in a reflex plus perception and you know, a couple of pieces of the, what's it called, the refresh. Yeah, refresh amulet and rank, just, you know, for the sake of trying to get those, you know, when you do the A3 to just reset it so you can do it again. It's more damage, more War Master. And these are the stats I have on him. I even got him some crit rate. I'm not sure I really need it. Honestly, I feel like I would change his build, just completely ignore his crit rate and his crit damage, just focus his accuracy and then survivability stats, because like I said, he's not in here to do raw damage. He's here to place those debuffs and do the HP burns and the activations, which are going to do a ton of damage, as you just saw. But yeah, that would mean I would have to change this crit damage one, even though it's quite decent, you know. I don't have everything left in here. Like, I do have some of the pieces left, but I don't have this one. I don't have, so, you know, there's more that can be improved, and still you saw how well it went. But yeah, I think we're gonna leave it at that for this video. Hydra videos do tend to be a little bit longer, guys. So if you're still here at this point, thank you for being for still watching this video. And if you're not already subbed to the channel, please consider doing so, because I'm pumping raid content daily. You know, I'm gonna slowly slow down on the free-to-play videos because I'm at the point where I'm slowly grinding. So I'm gonna try and do more guides for Hydra, for dungeons, you know, for arena, for all the other stuff, as that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to show a little bit of everything. But yeah, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. Like I said, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next. And I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye, guys.